This was a fantastic chapter of Vinland Saga, and my favorite thing about it is that we pretty much see every single one of our main characters, where they're at, what their headspace is like, and how they are dealing with this absolute insanity that is going on. We are in full all-out war now. It is all built up to this, where the natives are attacking the fortress of the Norse, and they have nowhere to go. They have built up their wall to try to protect themselves. They're doing their best to shoot arrows over the top of the wall. They are trying to get the women and children to evacuate on the boats, but they are locked into this one small location and there's nowhere to go. I mean, besides trying to sail away, but as we see in this chapter, even that is not working. So everything feels absolutely hopeless now, and we get pretty much the perspective of every single character except for Thorfinn and Hild, but we do see them at the very end. The beginning of the chapter shows them still kind of burning down the houses, raiding the houses for materials and whatnot, and we see the shaman character who says, don't take that shit because it's filled with the plague, which is pretty reasonable. But all the warriors are like, nah, like, your time's done. Like, war has started, so old man, take a seat. It's time for us to take over. I really like the look of this character. I don't think we've seen this character before, but he looks pretty badass. I hope they do something with him. But that's what they've started to do here. So they're raiding the houses, they're burning shit, they're taking what they want, and then we see them. We see the Norse trying to reinforce their fortress here, putting the walls up, which, by the way, I believe it was Ivyar's idea to put up the walls, and as much as we go back and forth, and that's the great thing about Vinland Saga, is that it brings conversation of, like, what would be the best thing to do in this scenario. And, the walls were kind of perceived as maybe not the best idea to begin with, but if they didn't have them here in this moment, they would all be being massacred at the moment. The walls are the only thing that is delaying the massacre. So, I gotta say, shout out to Ivyar for that one, man. It's nuanced, which is why I love Vinland Saga so much. It's like everything is nuanced. Like, every single character has good ideas and bad ideas. They all come from a different perspective, and that's the best part of Yukimura's writing. So, so we see them kind of trying to reinforce the walls, saying that, they're going to use that to kind of buy time while people escape on the boats, but they'll just get their canoes and sail around and attack them that way, which they do. I like how this character... Don't ask me to pronounce these names, dude. I'm sorry. What? Giaoi? Is that right? I don't know. He's the guy that has the sword. Now, I do find it interesting here that he doesn't bring up the fact that he has the sword. I don't know if that was a deliberate choice. Like, I don't know if it's actually meant to imply that he's hiding the fact that he has a sword, or everybody knows, and so no one's going to say anything because everybody already knows. I'm not exactly sure, because I think the last time we saw him was when he was attacking and, he chopped off Ivyar's hand and retrieved the sword. So I don't know if all of the other natives are also aware that he has the sword. Like, we could have just missed that part and implied it. Like, yeah, they all know, so who cares? Or if he's, like, got that smug look on his face because nobody knows he has it. I actually don't know. So if somebody knows, or if there was a line of dialogue that I don't remember, somebody clear that up. But I'm not sure. But I do like that we see him. And like I said, this entire chapter continuously shifts perspective, so we see where all of our main characters are. The next one it goes to are the people that are evacuating, which is mostly the women and children. Cordelia staying behind because of how powerful she is in order to fight. I mean, they need her, they do. They really do. But this is the part that tore my heart out, is that they're making Gudrid and the newborn child and Carly leave, which is the smart thing to do, because if they manage to get inside the walls, you don't want the woman who just gave birth, to be there to be massacred along with her newborn child. Very important to protect her. But if she leaves and we have the climax of our series happen here, there is a very good chance that Thorfinn will never get to meet his newborn child. And, they've been building this up I say they, it's just Yukimura, but Yukimura has been building this up where, she was giving birth during the attack. Thorfinn is battle damaged, got an arrow in him far away, don't know what's happening. And this is the tragedy of these characters, is that Thorfinn the entire time is thinking about Gudrid, he's thinking about his family. Obviously, he's thinking about everybody, but, we've had those specific flashes of him thinking about Gudrid and Gudrid being pregnant while he was trying to come to some kind of peace negotiation with everybody. So these are the people that are on his mind. He's thinking about the people that he loves. And that's the whole reason why he was trying to say, all right, we'll leave, we'll evacuate. Like, he's trying to do the best to protect the people that he loves. And if he doesn't even ever get to see them again, that is the ultimate tragedy, which for storytelling and drama purposes, I would like to see it, but like at the same time as me like loving the character of Thorfinn, of course I don't want to see it. Of course I want Thorfinn to meet his newborn child. But in terms of storytelling and drama, it might actually work best if he never gets the chance to see it. I don't know, man. I'm conflicted. There's like the storyteller in me, and then there's the empathetic, like treating Thorfinn like a real person. I need him to meet his child. So like there's both. But to me, this is the biggest tragedy of the whole chapter, is the idea that Thorfinn may never get to meet his newborn child or ever see Gudrid again. So Carly, has this little moment where he's thinking like there's no choice, which is parallel to Nisqualji's conversation to the shaman later, which is, that's the theme that Yukimura throws into the entire manga, is like, is that the only choice? Is there no choice? Because at the end of the day, when it comes to battle, you're choosing to go into battle for whatever reason you choose to do it. Like, you could choose not to fight, but you would need both sides, opposing forces, to come to some other agreement, which it seems like in humanity is impossible. So posing the question, is there no choice? Well, there is, but it's complicated. But I like, through the eyes of a child, though, as well, you don't see as many of the complications. You just see people being angry with one another. So, the no choice question, I think, works well coming from Carly. But as they are sailing away, of course, the natives are coming around in the canoes. They're beginning to attack. This character, whose name I can never remember, but, he starts fighting back, trying to protect the women and children, cover your heads. They have arrows, all that. So that is paused. So we don't even know if Gudrid's going to make it away from from Vinland. And then I really like this. I thought this was a cool idea. So when the natives are attacking, obviously they're taking some of them out with arrows, but I like how they're bringing like the sticks and the brush, and they're using that one as cover, right? But then when they get up to the wall, they throw it in front of the wall in order to set it on fire, so that they burn the walls down. That's a really, really creative idea. I like that. I like that it wasn't just like, I like that there's strategy, I like that it's not just, let's charge the gate. I like that, okay, let's use this to burn it down and then we'll charge in. So I really like that idea. I like the use of strategy. Really cool stuff. We see this character, I know we've seen this character before, but I can't remember. Gunther, his name is right there, but he gets pelted in the eye, so that's him taken out. Bug Eyes is there, like, Jesus Christ, really in the thick of it. So you see Bug Eye's perspective, and then you see Einar's perspective, where, he's saying, we got limited. He's being, there's kind of a parallel to Keitel here, which is ironic because Keitel was his slave master. But, the idea of continue to fight, even though it's this massive losing battle, protecting this little area of land. There's a lot of parallels back to the farm arc here. And so you see what Einar's doing, and then you go to Ivyar and Stark, who is like, kind of also trying to help with strategy and whatnot, and realizing that this is a losing battle. Ivyar's like, we just got to hold out. A lot of them are sick from the illness and the plague. If we hold out, and then Stark's like, yeah, well, that would be the only strategy we would have, is to hold out, because we're not going to win this fight. Yeah, really, dude. It's so bad. It's so bad. But, Ivyar has a point here. Again, like I said, like the walls were Ivyar's idea, if I'm not mistaken, So that is the thing helping to draw this out, helping to make sure they don't all just immediately die. And Ivar lost a friend. He lost his hand. He did try to fight back. Like, I like Ivar as a character. I like him quite a bit. And I've talked about that in all of these reviews, is because even though he may be misguided and he may be naive, he is trying to do the right thing from his perspective. And this was the first time he was ever put into a position where things got serious. And he tried, like he didn't become a coward. He really did try. Obviously, like the beginning portion, when he cut off the shaman's hand, he should have just stayed in his lane, let Thorfinn do what he needed to do. But, even so, he thought he was protecting Thorfinn, but we talked about that already. But anyways, I think that from his perspective, he is trying to do the right thing, right? And he did lose a friend, so that's more incentive for him to fight back here too. Then we see the shaman and Nisqualji talking. He talks about, did Thorfinn escape? She's not sure. And yeah, building the wall is afraid the war will drag out. And then can we really create a better future through war? Which is the question. Like, is this going to be better for us? And if they show up again, if other people show up, are we going to have to go to war each and every time? And the shaman's like, yes, we have no choice. Bringing it back to that parallel with Carly. And then finally we get to see Polmuck show up, which is cool. And look, did anyone think that Polmuck was actually going to attack Thorfinn and Hild? Like, come on, man. Did anybody really think that? Of course he was going to save them. Of course he was going to save them. Come on. Anyways, he did. And Thorfinn is here, not doing well, badly wounded. We can see Hild there as well. So, he wants to bring the shaman to Thorfinn to help him. Although, Vinland Saga is a grounded, realistic, well, for the most part, obviously the laws of physics are in question when there's fight scenes. But, like, there's nothing he can just give Thorfinn that's just going to immediately heal him. There's no sensu bean in Vinland Saga, so I don't know what he's going to do to fix this. But I could see if Thorfinn becomes conscious, no matter how injured he is, he's probably going to go directly to the battlefield. I mean, it's going to be, like I said, paralleling the farm arc, where he's just going to walk right up into everybody. So I don't know. That may happen, and then you might have that team. You might have Thorfinn, Hild, and Polmuck, and it might be the three of them kind of going in to see what they can do. We might culminate to Thorfinn versus Einar, which could be a really an actual real thing that could happen here. And maybe with Thorfinn being injured, Einar would have a little bit more of a chance if they actually did get into a fight. Who knows? But like that's the question, man. And if this is the final arc, I mean, anything can happen. Anything's on the table. Thorfinn could die here. Hild could die. They could all die. You know what I mean? Like, who knows, man? There's a real potential that Thorfinn will never get to see his newborn child, that he'll never meet Gudrid again. There's a potential for anything, and I don't necessarily think that Yukimura is going to, follow history 100%, which I've been trying to avoid as much information as I possibly can about, the Vinland sagas that this is based on, because I want to be surprised. But yeah, so predictions, I mean, I think the shaman will help Thorfinn, because he just wanted them to leave. He wanted them to get out of there. Like, he didn't necessarily want all of this to happen, right? This is just what it led to. So if Thorfinn does recover enough to be able to be conscious and walk, I do think that he'll head towards the battlefield to try to do something. Hild and Polmuck will, of course, go with him. But what characters will be left by the time he gets there, I don't know. Everything is kind of paused right now. So we're in the middle of the confrontation on the fortress. Also, everybody escaping on the boats is also in the middle of the confrontation. And, it could go anywhere, man. I am really, really enjoying this final arc. I'm excited to see where it goes. I mean, to me, I feel like we could go another 20, 30, 40 chapters. I mean, let's go, man. You know what I mean? I don't know how quick he's going to end it, but I'm ready for it all, man. So Really enjoyed this chapter. I think the best things about it were seeing where all our characters are at this moment in time. We get to see at least one panel of every single major character, and I think that that helps lead towards bringing it all together. Like, we know where everybody is, we know what everyone's doing, we know where everyone's headspace is, and now this is the climax. You know, this is leading towards the finale. So if you guys read chapter 212, let me know what you think about it down below. Where do you think it's going to go next? Do you think Thorfinn's going to wake up? Is he going to miss everything? Or is it going to be really tragic? Is Thorfinn going to just... You know what? I don't even want to say it. Anyways, let me know what you think of this chapter. Tell me what you think down below. Predictions for next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Please give the video a thumbs up and a like to help it out in the algorithm. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll talk to you next time.